The Cavaliers have never lost a postseason game versus Atlanta. As far as streaks go, 12 in a row versus Detroit. Sorry, Reggie.
Well, you was only there for 4.
Yeah. Of course, 5-0 to start the postseason, and Game 2 at Quicken Loans at the top of the hour. And with that, we welcome in a very special guest. He is the Hall of Famer and analyst for TNT, and calling this one at the Q, the one and only Reggie Miller is with us. Reggie, looking handsome as usual. How are you?
Hey, I'm loving this. 2 Reggies. I mean, we're taking over the show here. This is how it's supposed to be at the Turner brand,
right.
Okay? I love it.
It's all Reggie all night. All Reggie
That's
all night
right.
long. So let me start with this. Should Cleveland be encouraged by another win, or can Atlanta take something, Reggie, out of closing that 18-point deficit and saying, look, we were close. We just have to do some things better?
I think a little bit of both. You know, if you're Cleveland, remember 8 days off, and it was almost like they were coasting in that first half. They had the 10-point lead, and it really didn't look like Atlanta was going to close the deficit. It got up to as high as 18, and then the big run led by Dennis Schroeder, and they go up by 1, and then the legs started to come back. The conditioning started to come back for Cleveland. So if you're both teams, you can kind of take something away from it. But I look for both teams to make adjustments tonight. Now that Cleveland has that game underneath their belt, they've got that rhythm back. And if you're Atlanta and Coach Budenholzer, you've got to find a way to get your 4 All-Stars going. 10 for 32 combined for Millsap and Horford. 1 shot for Korver, and Teague in only 22 minutes. He did have 7 points, but 2 of 9 from the field.
Hey, Reg, do you get the sense that there's a psychological hurdle that the Hawks have to get over in terms of, do they really believe they can win the series? You know what I mean? Like, do you get the sense that there is that doubt in the back of their minds that just doesn't allow them to play as free as oftentimes we see them against other opponents?
We're at 9 and counting. And Greg, you're absolutely right. Because at a certain point, just some teams have your numbers. And right now, LeBron and the Cavs have the Hawks number. So until Atlanta and Teague and Millsap, Horford, and Coach Budenholzer does something about it, it's going to be one of those series. Either you've got to come out here and make the game physical, or you've got to increase the pace. But right now, the Cavs are playing their style of brand. They're crashing the boards. Their big 3 is contributing, and everyone else is falling in line. So until Atlanta does something about it, right now we're at 9 and counting, and the Cavs are feeling pretty good.
Oh, Reggie.
Yes, Reggie.
Still feels weird, but great name, great name. I was just wondering, of course, with Kyle only taking 1 shot last night, was there any talk of a more concerted effort to get him more touches tonight, probably for more looks? And if so, how are they going to do so?
Well, as you know, playing against Atlanta, they're an equal opportunity team. And we just spoke with Coach Budenholzer before, and he's not going to change the offense just because Kyle Korver only got 1 field goal attempt. He said, look, it opened it up for Dennis Schroeder. But having said all that, there's no way that Korver can have 1 more field goal attempt than I did, and I was sitting behind a podium desk here. He's got to be more important in the offense. So 2 things he did say. They could set better screens from Horford and Millsap, down screens, and Kyle Korver can make harder cuts. If that happens, but he's got to get more than 1 field goal attempt. He is so important. He's a plus 78 when he's on the floor in the success of the Hawks, and a minus 24 when he's off it. So obviously Coach Lue understood those numbers, and the focus was to take Korver out of the offense, which he has, but you've got to be aggressive. There's no way a guy that's an all-star should get 1 field goal attempt.
Agreed.
Reg, what's up? It's Booze.
Booze.
How we doing?
I'm doing great.
My question is, for Atlanta, we're all talking about how they need to tie the series up. Obviously, it comes down to the players on the court as well. Which guy is going to step up for Atlanta tonight? Is it going to be Paul? Is it going to be Horford? Is it going to be Teague? Is it going to be Kyle? Who do you think is going to step up tonight?
Well, if you look at that first half of Game 1, between Horford and Millsap, they missed so many easy shots at the rim. And we counted it 10 in that first half. So if they can convert those, maybe it's a different outcome and the rhythm is better for Atlanta. But those 2 in particular have to play better inside. And to me, you know, they always talk about Atlanta not having a superstar. Jeff Teague, to me, is their closer. He's their Mariano Rivera. And only in 22 minutes, he didn't show anything. So Teague has to have a big game because he controls the pace and space of this Hawks offense. So when he's rolling and going downhill, this team plays at a different level. So to me, Teague, Horford, and Millsap have to step up their game.
Yeah, and Millsap and Horford also have to do a better job, I think, in keeping Tristan Thompson off the glass too, Reggie, I would think. He had 14 rebounds, 7 offense, 7 on defense, and really picking up where he left off last year in the Eastern Conference Finals because, as you know, those offensive rebounds they're heartbreakers, aren't they, for a team working hard to get the ball?
And it's when he got them. When Atlanta made that run and got ahead by 1 with 4:20 left in the fourth, it was Tristan Thompson's offensive rebounding. Again, Atlanta won the rebounding of the game 45-40, but it was the offensive rebounds down the stretch by Thompson, who they've had no answer for over the last 2 years. They've got to do a better job because what they're doing is they're loading up and not playing Tristan Thompson because he's not a scorer. But when you load up and you don't have a body on Thompson, when the ball goes up, it's free reign for offensive rebounding.
Reggie, thank you so much. Have a great call tonight. Always a pleasure to speak with you. And if you come across another Reggie who'd like to be on the show tonight, we're more than happy to have him in as well.
I appreciate it. Love working with you guys. Reggie, run the show, baby. Run the show, Reggie.
I got you. I'm going to be my point guard.
Reggie Miller,